I'm gonna.
Hello, David here with David and Kim, just
Hello.
chilling.
I'm gonna go remove this.
All right.
You know,
So,
one
good day.
of the first medicines that really connected me to spirit was the essential oil extracted from the cannabis plant.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And ingested.
Yeah.
Now, Rick Simpson, I don't know if you know Rick
Yeah.
Simpson, but that guy,
THC or CBD or just
you don't
just
have
whatever
you
it
don't
was.
have a choice of
Yeah.
THC or CBD when you extract the full spectrum.
Just the full spectrum.
Because
type, yeah.
when you fractionate it like that, it doesn't work as well. It'll
Yeah.
help a little,
Yep.
but it won't make its connection to spirit, and it will not actually heal you. If you have a serious internal disease, eating the essential oil from cannabis, full spectrum, with
Yeah.
all the terpenes, flavonoids, every part of it,
Yep.
then you will get health benefits, not symptom suppression.
That's what they do when they separate it. They're trying to take the THC out of it so they can make that illegal, and then they make
No.
the
The
CBD
real
legal.
reason why they're doing it, their claim,
Yeah.
is for dosages. Dosage is everything. So when they do fractionate it like that, they take out all the characteristics of the plant, and so now we can dose it properly.
Yeah.
So that's the basic story about why they're doing it.
So then they can do medical trials, so then they could have a point. It's like quantifying. They need a number
Yeah.
so that they have a number, and then
Yeah.
they can say that this number's okay, this number's not, or whatever.
Yeah, but everybody's an individual anyways. We're all
Yeah.
individual drops of consciousness, which then creates individual chemistry in our bodies.
Yep.
So one size fits all never does work.
Yeah, I love the individuality. It's so much more beyond visual.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's insane.
Mhm.
Like, and it's so much more beyond even just like talking with someone. You really can't even. It goes to the same as like God. God is like limitless. You can't even call it God because then you're limited. Like the all is the all. And you try to label it, and you're just closing it.
You know, the first thing that let me know God was the natural world. The natural world allowed me to see perfection in creation, and so that creator, that's God. So I don't even
Yeah.
have to,
Yep.
I don't have to know or label God as anything,
Yep.
the creator as anything. You don't need to. You
Yeah.
see his work.
Yeah.
You see his work. It's perfect.
That just limits it. Anything you try to put,
Yes.
you put it into a statue or a form or a picture or a
Yeah.
name or a label.
Yeah.
My thing, I like to say like all the all is the all, like it is all of it is all. And all is love, and love is all. And so love is one of the closest labels I can get to of explaining it all,
Yeah.
because it's that attraction, like magnetism is love. It's like that attraction and that separation. It's that separate attraction. And it's that what happens. It's like how things
yeah.
roll.
Ah, KS.
Dates and
Oh,
cherries.
Yep.
cherries too. Wow. These are beautiful foods.
Yes.
I use dates a lot too.
I'll go for some of the chips and crackers.
Oh, yeah.
If you would grab that for me.
Mhm.
Thanks, Seth.
So when I was studying biology, that's when I saw the perfection in there. But then I looked at man.
Yeah,
Well,
I haven't
what's
got a
wrong
chance
with-
to study biology that deep. That'd be amazing.
What's wrong with man? What's going on? I figured it out. They don't grow up. There's a lot of adult people there's a lot of children in adult bodies,
Yeah.
not taking responsibility for their part in this realm. And they've been, granted, conditioned in many ways, all kinds of ways. However, and they've been diminished through the food supply, through fluoridating water.
Yeah,
it's
like
a neurotoxin.
we've been brought down.
Yeah. So we have been, but we can clean up. But the Campbell can help.
Yeah.
But you got to
That's a good
stop
way.
doing what you were doing
Yes.
that got you poisoned.
The first detox is detoxing your intake. Is the way
That's
that I
right.
see it.
That's
if
right.
you need to detox your intake, because if you're putting in poison and pushing out poison, then it's just you're gonna keep doing that.
That's it.
And then why?
From my experience, I have done every plant medicine that I know of. I know there are more. but you name, bufo, gambo, ayahuasca, iboga, all the San Pedro, whatever, all the things.
Yeah.
After all of that, and all the detoxing and lessons I had, the most profound ceremony that I had was the one I just did with David. 7-day water fast and enema cleanse.
Oh, I've done
and naked sunbathing.
Did you know
every day.
in 2009 I did a 30-day water fast. 30 days.
Wow.
And you know what?
Did you do enema cleanses?
No, I didn't. I just did 30 days. I did do coffee enemas before in another time, but that I could have kept going.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, I could have kept on going.
Yeah.
You just get to the point where, but I did have a little bit of fat to help me, I suppose. Not too much though. Like if you're really lean all the way through.
7 days was rough for me. I could see I pretty much like lost my butt. Now sitting in my meditation pose, it's not quite there.
Yeah.
So we made these crackers. They're raw, and we made them out of seeds and
baked them in
nuts
the sun.
and onions, and we baked them up in the sun. So,
I'm gonna
so
try
they would
one.
be raw.
I'm
They're
gonna-
cooked by the sun, and then Kim made some amazing guacamole.
Yeah.
Oh, go for it.
I want to see how this one. These are good. And I did a raw diet by accident. I was vegan for a while in Canada, and this was in 2011. And when I did the raw diet, I didn't know I was going to do a raw diet.
Here, I'm gonna push on that.
I was going camping with this lady, and she told me, "Oh, don't bring it. I'll bring everything we need." Okay, and then I used to have a coffee every morning and sometimes at lunch. When I didn't have the coffee, I got headache. I got my neck stiffed up and everything. I was addicted. I could feel the withdrawals, and it was in the middle of Canadian northern wilderness. There was no Tim Hortons around or anything.
You weren't getting your coffee.
And no, I wasn't going to get it. But my friend, a friend of mine now, he needed my signature on something. So we could paddle up to the end of a road or something with the canoe. So I told him, I said, I'll meet you there at 2 o'clock, but make sure you bring me a coffee. And bring me some instant, And he did. But I mean, I was starting to feel really bad just from not having a coffee.
Yeah.
So our bodies will acclimatize to things and then want them all the time.
You drink coffee now?
Yeah, I do, but I don't drink every day, and I will have one for the purposes of some things like trivia. There's trivia this afternoon down at Jack's, and that's a social event. I don't like trivia. I'm not. But they ask science questions, and they think I'm pretty good at that. So it's pretty, and it is a social event, though. Where
I think that the fasting is important, and the 30-day fast is totally commendable, but without the enemas as well, it's not the same, and this is why. After not eating that many days, there's still shit stuck in your intestines and colon. And if you're not cleansing that out, even if you fasted that long, you're still not clear.
I did a cleanse with Epsom salts. You wouldn't believe it. It was a Syrian doctor that was here. That was last year I came. And no, the season before this year that I came.
They were enema cleanses, or what was it?
If you gotta try this, I still have all of the instructions and everything, but we did it together. And the first day, you start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you drink a tablespoon of Epsom salts mixed in water. It tastes like crap. And you do that at 4, 6, and then at 8 o'clock, what you do is you put lime and lemon juice in. It tastes even worse. And I didn't even think I could drink it. And she says, just gulp it down, gulp it down. I watched her do it. And that cleanse did take out stuff that I had never imagined was in me, and it also stimulated all the bile out of your and like after that cleanse, I was.
How many days did you do that?
Well, I did it. We did it one day at 4 o'clock, and then when we got up, and when we were sleeping, we had to sleep in a kind of an upright position. And then at 6 o'clock the next morning, we started again, just with the Epsom salts.
Wow.
And then finished with the lime and
So how many days total?
2 days.
2 days.
But boy, that I could feel the difference. I could very much feel the difference. And
Like just a teaspoon of Epsom salt?
a teaspoon in a glass of water. You know, stir it up as best you can, and then just suck it back.
And you're fasting?
You are fasting, but you can eat. Not when you're doing that. So we didn't eat. I did not eat, anyways. The day before, the first day, that morning I got up, I didn't eat or anything, and then at 4 o'clock we started, and then the second day I didn't eat anything either, and but it was coming through. It was all coming out, and I never felt better. See, the medicines are not for our physical body. Not all of them. Some of them, yes.
Well, yeah, they can purge some, but I mean, I felt the Evoga going through my body and cleansing it. And afterwards, I was like, oh my God, I haven't felt so good. I felt like my body could move, but a lot of that came back.
Oh, it always does.
And so I didn't understand, why is this coming back?
Well, because of the environment we're in. Doesn't really matter how clean you want to pretend to be. We've shit on our nests everywhere.
But it came back pretty fast, is what I'm saying, within a few months. Like I would notice, like, all right, my body's shifted back.
Less than a few months, even.
Yeah, probably a month.
A few weeks.
Yeah, it didn't sustain it.
Well,
so
try
these
living in the
medicines-
world you were the same way after this cleanse and see how long that lasts.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Detox in the intake.
Well, the thing about it is there's no, unless you're growing all your own food,
Yeah.
everything not, because I'll tell you something, wheat is sprayed with Roundup as a desiccant.
We don't use
And
it.
when we started, when they started doing that, a new disease came out called gluten allergies.
Yeah.
It's frickin' Roundup allergies.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
And then they got a pill for that.
And they do.
Yeah, we stopped wheat and don't really do that anymore.
I
There's
don't-
some recipe that said like sprouted wheat berries, but the goal is with our sustainable development inspiring communities, our non-for-profit. Our goal is to get some land and build a community center and build a food forest and grow our own gardens and recycle and become sustainable. A sustainable development that inspires community and build those around the world, starting off with one or so. And
You guys know Sharon?
Yeah.
The El Tweedo. She took me out to a place out there, and I met up with a guy, and they already have a little food forest there.
Awesome.
Yeah, they already do.
Yeah.
And they have some open space too for if you want to cultivate something. I'll tell you about my farm. On my farm, I was a hobby farm, but I was raised on a tomato farm in Essex County. And we grew tomatoes for Heinz, cucumbers for Bix, corn for Green Giants, peas for Green Giants, and all of that. My dad graduated from the agricultural program at Guelph University, and he was the lead farmer in the area. And why? Because those chemical companies hired him to be the lead farmer. Now, what does a lead farmer do? It shows the farmers that can't do the math how to mix their poison. And when I went to chemistry, it was chemistry through better living. Better living through chemistry.
Mm.
That's the way they
Taught you.
yeah. I mean, so, and we're sprayed like bugs
I
right
know.
now.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Well,
So-
in the United States for sure with the chemtrails. There's no chemtrails in Mexico.
You have
But they
seen
do
them.
have those trucks that when we were in the motorhome one night, the spray truck went around for mosquitoes and went around like 4 times with this like huge, like a snow
so
gun
loud.
cannon, just like at the ski resort. It was, and I know it was putting out mosquito killer
Yeah.
poison there. It's like they do the chemtrails from the ground, and I'm sure
Yeah.
the fruits aren't.
Well, I
that
have seen a few chemtrails here over the years.
Mm.
And I've been coming here since 2012-13 season.
I think whatever they did, they've stopped from what I understand, but I could be wrong.
Well, I don't know, but it circulates worldwide in the currents of the air currents and things like that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's right over top of you. Right over top is where they want to get the most effect, but it will travel all around the world. And there's all kinds of some of those components are in there, I think, for weather control and things like that they're playing with. But I don't know. I mean, I don't delve into that too much. I just hear about it and I say, well, it's plausible to me. You know?
Well, if you research the HARP, then yes, they do control the weather when they want to.
Yeah, and you can even see it on the radar maps, the weather radar maps. You can see when they're putting out a pulse, and if you're watching a tropical storm or something like that, you can see the waves open like of the energy that they're putting into it. So, but you know, people, that's a conspiracy. I could see it.
You know, this is the thing that is so funny about that word to me. A theory is just a theory until proven. CIA coined the term conspiracy when JFK was assassinated to get people to not question their story, what they wanted everyone to believe. They didn't want any free thinkers. They said, oh, that's a conspiracy. Well, now everyone uses conspiracy theory. Well, it's just a theory. It's a theory until we can prove it.
And I know that from my own personal inside experiences of the things that I was taught, that I come to find out but they have such great, clever, and I'm serious, when I was studying chemistry, I thought, who the hell ever figured all this shit out? It's so amazing. We can put atoms together and predict how they're going to come together. And it works every time. And it doesn't matter what you think, feel, or believe. It works.
Yeah.
Every time. Now, Dr. Emoto's work was a little bit different with the water because the person's energy could affect the water.
Yeah.
And I understand that too. Water is one of the most, well, it's the most unique property substance on the planet.
Yeah.
And there's, it is amazing when I learned about that too. I thought,
It's the dipole too. It's just like the electric dipole. It's like the Pythagorean triangle with the bottom out of it,
yes.
and that's where they say.
So the angle changes though.
In water, the angle changes.
Yes, and that's how the memory is stored.
And that's how water can form in different ways. How there's actually a fourth state of water that's the gel state, where it probably changes into a spot where it fits even tighter together. The gel state is pretty amazing.
Yes, it's a sublimation. They have it does everything. It has everything. So
have you seen the water bridge?
Mm-hmm.
So it's so amazing. They put two bases together with water and a little bit of electricity, I think is what they use, and they pull them apart, and the water is like.
Oh well.
I love the science of water.
Think about this too. You give somebody a massage. Oh, I feel a lot better. I had some great massages in Punta Maya. But you go out into the world and you do the same things you were doing that got your body the way it was.
Yeah.
And some of them are, like my own fault. The problems I have in my neck, I have whiplashes and things like that. And also I carried backpack for exercise, and I put weight in it and everything, and that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
But I did it for years, and it really did get me into shape.
I have learned recently that massage is good and it'll relax you, but when the muscles get formed and they have adhesions, just massage, it'll make you feel good for a little while, but it's not releasing the problem. So I can show you a little bit.
Show me.
We have on our YouTube channel other live videos.
So let's see, I could find an adhesion probably, right. Tell me if something is a little bit.
A little bit more like that.
So in your arm.
John Wood in Portland, Oregon showed us this technique.
Are you feeling
Of releasing
Any
the
pain
adhesion.
in here?
A little bit, not much.
Not much? Okay. Tell me when you feel.
Or if you know where you have a spot.
Well, my neck.
Your neck?
That neck is the worst.
Don't go too hard.
No, that's okay.
I know, but the problem I have is I don't know exactly in the neck which way he needs to move it towards.
So there's the bump in it
Yeah.
is stuck. No matter how much you stretch it, it's stuck so that you can't stretch it. It's usually what the adhesion's for.
Oh.
And all the water's like squished out of it. The gel that's in there is squished out of it so it stays solid. So what you do is you take that and you put pressure on it and then you flex it and then release it and
Yeah.
flex it and release it. So you're telling that bump to spread back out and make it go away.
Oh, cool.
And so
You're
the
actually,
adhesions, most people don't know those adhesions.
Turn, and so you're not stretching, you're coming towards it,
Yeah.
and finding the spot where it's the most painful, and then relax. So like, for
Uh-huh.
example, right here, okay, if I were to find an adhesion on your arm.
Would you can try the other arm.
Okay.
Try the other one. This one here is. Oh yeah, that one there is right now. Yeah, I can feel that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can feel that.
Okay. So now you flex back towards it.
To get that muscle right where she's pushing on, you
And then release. Don't stretch after. Just flex and then release. And then flex back and release. And just keep doing that. Are you starting to feel a difference in the pain level?
A little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little deeper now.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, you found it.
Okay.
I mean, that's the best way for it to release.
Oh, I can feel it releasing.
Mm-hmm.
That
And
is
then
cool.
you stretch. Then you can stretch it. So yeah. Then you
Stretch.
then you can pull back. Straight your arm.
Oh,
Straight your
straight.
arm.
To stretch those muscles
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you just were
Yeah.
having trouble
And then
with.
just 1 second. I'm gonna get you something.
Wow.
So
For adhesions, yeah.
yeah, adhesions are the things that hold the muscle tight. Like I have them in my chest from my pain's here,
Mm-hmm.
but they're here because it's pulling me forward because
And-
I let it and they're damaged.
He makes that stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
makes this Oregon cream. I can get it
So we got a bunch of videos with him, live videos with him, so we could
And
talk.
I have done acupuncture.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
massage too. This is like the best that I've
Well,
ever seen.
most
'Cause
effective.
most effective because it actually
Mhm.
releases them. It takes some time. It's not gonna like one and done.
Yeah.
But it's better than a regular massage. But it's more work.
Oh, yeah.
You have to actually work,
Work
with
with
it
it,
instead
yeah.
of just.
Lisa
I'm just
told
gonna
me
relax
all
and
about
enjoy.
that.
Yeah.
She
Mhm.
did.
And it's
She
yeah.
thought it was a,
But I
So
mean,
you can
I like
feel
to
it,
get in
though.
there and give a little massage too. But yeah.
So new
No.
techniques she's
well,
putting into practice.
Lisa told me it was amazing for her.
Yeah.
And that this guy's an older fellow and he's not, yeah, you found another one.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at finding them. I'm
She
very
was always
intuitive.
good at finding them, and now she's learning how to stretch it, how to
Yeah.
put it. There's always go towards it wherever she's putting that. You want
Okay.
to flex that muscle towards it.
Yeah.
You want to push her away almost.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to turn your wrist a little bit, or it's a finger, you know, to find the spot that
Yeah,
it is, and
you
then
can
you have to
kinda like-
relax when you put it down, and give it a second if you need to relax.
Yeah.
I got to hold the
Nice.
camera pretty much.
I can feel it already, just starting to.
Really.
Yeah.
You could do it on yourself. You
Yeah.
know.
But it can go right back there if you're doing what you usually
Yes.
do with that hand, like you were saying. It could be, it could go right back to it.
Well, I've had some great treatments in Putumayo, in Macoa.
And then stretch it. So straight. Yeah.
This is that Oregon cream.
Yeah.
Really recommend that. It really goes into it, into you, and loosens it
It
up.
has
or-
such amazing ingredients. It's aloe vera gel, olive oil,
Yeah.
jojoba oil, MSM, pure extracts of comfrey leaf, Oregon grapefruit, golden seal, yerba, dandelion water, spearmint oil, vitamin E. You know, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
It follows that rule.
I mean,
That
you can smell it. It's like
Beautiful.
it follows Kim's rule. Is like if you wouldn't eat it, then you shouldn't put it on your skin.
yeah, your skin is your biggest organ. So many people are putting on sunscreen and these lotions that smell good and they're all perfumey. Would you eat that? Then don't put it on your skin.
All right.
I used to eat glue and put it on my skin.
Well,
in school days.
in 2012, a native friend of mine on, it was called the Mississauga First Nations Reserve by Blind River, Ontario. And he got cancer, and he had a cab business that he was driving. And he said, well, Dave, you know what, these things, I got to go for some treatments, and I'm going to lose my business and all this stuff. And I said, well, I'll go drive for you. I'll keep it going. And when I was driving the cab, I got to know everybody on the reserve, and I got to see a lot of illness and mental as well. Crazy shit. And they're so traumatized. It blows me away. And they took me in as family. I even got to play the big drums of the powwow.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they were really good to me, but they didn't understand a lot of what I was saying. They're very. The genocide of the native people continues by virtue of assimilation into the white man culture.
Yeah.
It's basically an archived culture.
I can work on your neck just a little bit
Oh,
just
yeah.
to help you out.
So
Purposefully.
yes, all
They purposely destroyed it and
yeah.
keep destroying any chance and not giving them a chance to reclaim it. It was the biggest genocide on this planet and it was huge.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh yeah, there you go.
just to delete that way, and that way of life was so beautiful. They really had it. They really had it pretty good, the way that they were living.
Yeah, they really did.
And now they're stuck in to places and pushed casinos and alcohol to keep them down.
Yeah.
But everything's whole, complete, and perfect.
Yes, I guess.
I get that message one day, and it's taken me through medicine, and it's taken me so long to integrate it, but I am finally realizing, yes, it really is.
Well, the thing is about knowing our place in this. We didn't do it as best we. And when I didn't know any better, I just didn't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
And I could never figure out a very good reason for not having known better.
And then just relax it after you do that. Come towards it and find the spot where it's hurting more, kind of where you can repeat, and then move and feel with your body where you need to move it, and then relax. I'm just holding it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so John Wood in Oregon, LMT, John Wood LMT, he was kind enough to train us while we were there.
Oh,
and so he gave us lessons
And
we were only there for less than 2 weeks when we met him, a week and a half. And he squeezed us in a bunch on his days off and
Yeah.
got time to let us in there and teach Kim. And I just learned by observation.
Well,
So
It
she
was
was learning
good.
by hands-on.
yeah. I was going to show you something too about how.
The guac is so good.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, that's it. Oh, I can feel it right up into my head.
Move towards it and then raise it. Again.
Oh. Wow, Kim, that's great. It's already feeling better.
Yeah, it happens really fast. It's pretty magical the way this works.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And then stretch it the other way.
oh yeah. Oh, oh, wow. There's still lots in there. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, you won't get it all in one day, but
No.
I just...
Oh, that's great. Oh, oh, I can feel it.
Okay, and the same thing this side.
Oh. Oh. Wow. I ever feel? Oh, I can feel that. It does hurt.
Yeah, no, it does, but you
But-
can tell it's helping it, right? Just hold it for a few seconds, just like a little bit longer. Hold.
Inhale. Don't forget to breathe.
Yeah. That's what Rich was always good at telling me. Breathe.
Yeah. I wish he taught me that one big time. Inhale the gratitude. Exhale the gratitude.
Can you hand me that? David, did you close that?
No.
Oh, did I?
Well, maybe I did. We'll have to look at the video.
Geez,
Check the instant replay.
I can feel the knots and everything when you find them.
Yeah. She's always been good at finding them.
People always go, can you feel that? I'm like, yeah, why do you think I'm holding it? Of course I can.
Oh.
Okay, then stretch the other way. Yeah, just give it a little stretch.
Oh.
Yeah, so learning to change my habits so I don't make that muscle have that adhesion again.
Well, for me, it's wearing a backpack. Like any kind of, like Lisa gave me this real light backpack, and that doesn't do anything. But what do I put into it when I'm going home? You know,
Yeah.
and riding a bike.
Yeah, riding a bike for me like got my legs. I rode my bike most of my life, and so
Move your neck towards, like you find the most painful spot. And
I got my shoulders used to being down. I got used to being hunched over. My legs didn't get fully extended, so I don't have like, I can't touch my toes as well, and so I'm practicing untraining my body from what it was trained to, because it was trained to be in that squat pose,
Yeah.
and I was super powerful. I would race up mountains and stuff, and
Wow.
now it's like time to release that pain that it got stuck in.
Yes.
Release those muscles and not let that happen again, not redo it.
Well, it's 66 years old, and I worked on a farm from a little kid right up until, well, I worked on a farm last year in Essex County on an organic farm.
Inhale gratitude.
And moving towards it again. Doing that.
Oh.
Use your intuition.
Wow. This is great. Oh, yeah. Wow. You know, you could add some mushrooms and Santa Maria to this, and we would have a ceremony going here.
Oh yeah, she's walked
What?
around in ceremony before to do that with people. Some
Yeah.
people just love it.
Oh.
Yeah, if you get your state in that, your body in that magical state where
Yeah.
you can, it's easier to receive the pain. and
Well,
feel
it's
it.
true. That is true. I got a pretty good pain tolerance, but I can give. I've tapped out before.
I've tapped out with Kim a lot. She just goes, "Does that hurt?" Oh my God! Like ease into it. Like give it some love first. Make it some dinner.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Wow. I've had some. Oh, yeah, you got it.
We got a broken bowl on the way here in the mail. The other one broke, so I put half of it in the compost and half over there to hope the birds will eat some
Yeah,
food.
I don't think they have to know.
Yeah, I don't think they get it yet.
the chickens.
I don't know they have permission.
I asked people, I said, whose chickens are those? Oh, they're wild. They just roam the streets.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of them.
Like hold it for a little bit.
That's how it was in Hawaii also.
Like find the spot where it's really like, oh, but you know it's like helping. It's like the song,
Yeah.
"Come on, baby, make it hurt so good."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Make it hurt so good.
Sometimes love.
Wow, I can feel it letting go. I even hear it.
Yeah.
It's like stretching. And my neck was so tense too. Juan down there that did a little bit of chiropractic fixed it up. He took away the ache that I had for years that never goes away.
Nice.
And that was a great emotional release too. once your body has been relieved from some gnawing and aching pains that's always there, and it makes it hard for you to, enjoy your life. But it's usually
All right.
there's
How's that?
Oh, that is great. Thank you.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
gracias. Oh.
And then a lot of times if our back or neck is hurting, it's like our chest.
Yeah.
You've been hunched over, so you would take, if you want to work on your chest, you would take this hand and push it this way. Flex your hand and push
Like
in
this.
towards it.
Oh, okay.
Push in towards it.
Oh, yeah.
And then relax.
And then sometimes you gotta get a little closer, a little back,
Oh,
like find that push.
yeah.
Because you're flexing this one. Like,
Because you're
like some sideways
you're
Tai Chi.
hunched over so much.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. That I can feel too.
yeah.
These are great points.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Push is where you find the most. Can't yet. And hold. And then relax.
One of the things about this GoPro app is it doesn't show the battery life. Quite a bummer.
Is it done?
No. I think it's still going.
Oh, yeah. It's starting to release.
Yeah, it's fast when you
Yeah.
can.
It really is. It's something.
Do you know if those are almond trees?
I think they are.
They're all over this neighborhood.
Yeah, I think they are.
I think this was a almond grove.
If you look on the tree right there, I think I can see some almonds.
Yeah, I've never identified it,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
I've never seen it
Yeah.
like that.
I've seen them. Do you open these up and see?
Wait, well,
Not
we
yet.
haven't
I was letting it dry out maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know the process. Haven't looked up the process yet.
Wow.
But this
Okay.
Richie's
I'll get the
neighborhood's
other side.
Oh,
mangoes,
you got that side already.
and this neighborhood is
Oh.
almonds.
You could do this technically on yourself, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can see how.
Yeah, you can hold it and then push. But I mean, I can do it because sometimes it's nice.
Well-
It's nicer when someone else does it, but
Well,
you know.
I can feel it. It's coming up.
Yeah, it's something you can
Oh.
do like in bed or something or another time.
Oh yeah.
You're laying down, it might help. And that'll release your back pain because a lot of it is from
Is
that.
from that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can feel it coming out. Oh, wow. Oh. Yeah. Ooh.
So I've been working on, since I had a lifetime of slouching,
Yeah.
And
I've
then
been
you
working
stretch
on
the
stretching.
opposite way.
I've been
Stretch.
working on opening it back up so I can sit comfortably.
Put your head up.
You're trying to stretch them the opposite way. You might need to lift them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Try to find that stretch that stretches that spot that she was working
Oh, there it is. Oh.
on. Awesome.
Oh. Oh. That was great. Whoa. Oh, that's beautiful. But that really is a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And I don't think too many people will want to have that much pain,
Yeah.
honestly. But
Well-
I take it like medicine.
I do
Because you
too.
know
I
it's
love it.
medicine, yeah.
But most people have an aversion to pain. They don't realize that pain, this is what David always tells me, pain is the precipice to bliss. You have to go through the pain to get to the bliss. You have to push through that to get to the release.
Wow, this is great. You could
Yeah.
you can teach that to,
I'm going to learn it in depth and I'm going to teach it to everyone because it
Yeah.
does work.
I know.
Cece
One-
wants to learn.
Oh, I would imagine, yeah. She does a really good job
Yeah.
of massaging. And the first time I got a massage from Cece was in 2020. And I couldn't believe it, but we also have medicine, and she went very deep.
Yeah. Wow.
When you take a medicine, and also I had some oil that I made, and I shared it with her because you got to both be in the
Yeah,
same
Yeah, it's so amazing a medicine massage.
Oh, yeah. And I was one of the, and I was told by Richie that I was one of the first people that were not living in Noah Cave. Like she was massaging, and Richie taught her a lot of that too. Apparently, he
Well,
can-
so she's the masseuse, I think,
Yeah.
in the family.
yeah, she is. So
Probably so cheap. I don't think Richie does massage.
I don't know. She said he taught her something, but I don't know what it was. My Spanish is kind of mixy,
Yeah.
iffy for sure. But
Same.
it was. I was told I was one of the first ones outside of the Nawake family to actually offer one of these massages. And whoa, did it ever release a lot of emotional releases from whatever the heck it was that was in there. And the same thing happened in Makoa. It was the first treatment that I got. He's kind of got like chiropractic in there, massage and stuff and everything. But whatever he did with my neck, it relieved a load of pain that was on my neck,
Mm-hmm.
on my, and I never could get rid of it. I have a friend who's a very good chiropractor, although a very angry man. But he's a very good chiropractor, and he used to fix me up in so many different ways, and he was very successful. But he moved to some southern country, and I didn't see him for I haven't seen him either since 2012-13. But he used to take care of me, and he wasn't even practicing anymore. He just said, I said, well, you want to keep your skills on. I trust you. You're the medicine. Give me some of that medicine. And you have to trust.
Yeah.
Otherwise, oh yeah,
How's your neck?
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm happy. Yeah.
Lisa rode that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we went into the up a Staciones, all through the farmlands, all kind of all over the place. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I probably got a couple 100 miles of plus on that bicycle. I had a bunch of races in it.
Oh, wow.
I did a lot of rides on that.
Now that is a beautiful bike. I like that. I would.
I got that bike when I got this tattoo. I was sponsored by the tattoo parlor to race that bike.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's such amazing family that just blessed us.
Well, at I think it was 50. It might have been 56. First time I saw a fat tire bike. Fat.
Yeah.
And I went for a little ride on it. I like this. It's not so bumpy or anything, and you can bounce over things. It was great. So I bought one of those, and went riding all the nice little tough trails that were in Ontario, and with another friend of mine who had one. And actually, I bought the one that he had a second one, and I bought his second one. But it was perfect for me. I loved it, and I got all kinds of exercise. But I really had banged myself up when I was young. I was 16 years old. I was racing motocross.
Oh yeah.
And I went.
I'll do it.
It does do it, doesn't it? And I went from the 125, and I had been racing since I was 14 on the 125, and practice on the farm. Like my dad bought, Anyways, I had everything I wanted to go and do and play like that. My dad raced cars, so I got into an accident with another fellow on the second 250 race that I did. And when you're racing like that, it is a game of chicken. The guy who's going into the corner, the guy that lets off first is behind the guy in first. So it's like a game of chicken all the time. And I was on the inside, he was on the outside. And when we got to the corner, he came in and we got tangled up, and all this side of my body was busted up. I broke all the bones in my foot, tibia, femur, as well as my arm and collarbone, 5 ribs. I had a punctured lung, torn kidney. I don't know why, but they told me afterwards.
Someone was hungry.
Oh my gosh, David.
It's true. It's true. So anyway, they did put Humpty Dumpty back together again. I was in intensive care for 3.5 weeks.
Wow, 16.
At 16 years old, and that was
Did
in the.
you race after that? Just curious.
Yeah, I did. I raced cars.
Oh god! Oh god!
I raced cars, and not for long. But I have a motorcycle now. I have my son. But I mean,
they say with motorcycle riders, there's those that have gone down and those that haven't gone down yet.
Yeah.
well, I do.
And so
know-
you already did, so then you can get all those miles in.
Well,
because you already went down.
I do have a couple of really good friends who have ridden as much as I have and have never had an incident.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So, but they weren't racing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole nother story.
So I
Put
want to
yourself in
hear
there.
about Colombia.
Well, Colombia, I'd like to live down there.
Yeah. The Cece loves it there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is. It is wonderful. Even let me tell you stories about even off of the ceremony grounds where we were at Mauricio's. It's a 40-minute walk into Muco. So I start walking, and a guy on a motorcycle stops, says, "You want to ride?" See. So I got on, and he took me into town. And no word of lie. On the way back, another guy stopped. Said, "You want to ride?" See. I took a ride back. I mean, they were so nice in town everywhere. They were so, you could see the pleasantness even in the beggars.
Yeah.
Even in the beggars, they were begging with joyful glee and, of course, I think they were begging for money to go buy booze, but doesn't matter.
Whatever makes
They
them
were still
happy.
happy.
That was so cool. And the experiences themselves. The experiences themselves. I was mixed a special concoction to help heal my pancreas so that it will start producing insulin. Well, I gotta say that experience was different from all the other ceremonies that we had, because all I did was just trust the medicine and felt all that it was doing to my body. And it did a lot of, that went on for quite some time. And all I was doing was just letting it go. And even at the very end, it felt like it was pulling my balls. And it was hurting. It felt like it. I know there's nobody there, but it's...
Feeds the spleen. The pancreas feeds the liver. It has.
Yes, they work
dumps
together.
into the liver. Or something like that. It produces something that it gives to the liver.
It's
the
called
liver
glucose.
needs.
What it does, see the liver, when in our sympathetic nervous system, what the liver does is when our sympathetic nervous system goes on and the adrenaline's flowing, and the adrenaline washes over the liver releases copious amounts of glucose into our bloodstream so that we can get away from being food or catch food so we don't starve. It's part of our sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
The
No.
fight or flight. Yeah.
The what?
Fight or flight? No?
Well, okay, let me
attached to
explain.
the same system in a way, but it's like part of it.
No, it is the same. It is the same.
Yeah.
It is, you're right. It's the sympathetic nervous system. It's the fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn.
Or
That fawning. Have you had anybody ever fawn over you? Oh, you're.
Wow, that's amazing.
But most people don't understand that in the biology. And let me tell you chemistry about Santa Maria. Not many people know this. This is amazing. When our bodies make cannabinoids, and they're called endocannabinoids. Now, a cannabinoid receptor has 5 legs to it. And the cannabinoids that we make in our body out of the omega-3 essential fatty acid fit with 2 legs open. The cannabis cannabinoids fit all 5 legs and make a connection to spirit.
Make a what?
A connection to spirit.
Okay, because the full connection's there.
It's like the antenna got turned on.
However,
But
I
smoking
don't
is
know.
not the same.
Yeah, smoking.
Smoking, no good. I'll tell you why.
Mhm.
Let me tell you why.
It's not raw.
So when you're burning it, okay, you're oxidizing the cannabinoids. And when an oxidization means you put a charge on it. And then when those cannabinoids fit into your receptors in your brain, and by the way, they get to your brain through the blood-air barrier in your lungs and goes directly to your brain. Your cannabinoid
Into the blood, into the brain.
right to the brain, and then your brain is a cannabinoid hog. Very few of those cannabinoids are going to get past the brain. But here's the difference: when you have a cannabinoid that has a charge on it, you've got a more electrons, more electrical going on, which causes your brain to fire differently,
Yeah.
which then causes you to think differently. And what is creativity if not thinking differently?
Yeah.
So it's good
Oh,
for
sure.
creativity. It has a purpose.
Like doubt. Doubt opens up that opportunity for creativity, for the opportunity for seeing something outside of the box.
Absolutely. And that's it. But so the and it has to be the full spectrum, because there's other components in the oil that also play a part in healing the body. It's not just the THC, and it has, I bet you, a very small contribution to the curing of cancers and the other things that other people have experienced. But it connected me. It got me connected to.
Yeah.
And that was before.
Yeah.
And every day was a good day. And every day was a good day. And I would take it in a little drop, just a little drop every day. And every day was a good day.
Rick Simpson oil?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I went and seen him in person.
Wow.
I saw his video, Run from the Cure. He had his phone number and his address on there. And so I called him up right away. And I said, Rick, I just saw your video, and I'm telling you, I said, this is amazing. And I don't doubt your integrity at all. But I would like to come and meet the people that were in there and talk to them about how they were healed by the medicine. And he says, well, I got a cot on the front porch if you want to come. I said, I'll be there in a day and a half. I think that's how long it takes to drive there to McCann, Nova Scotia. So I went there right away and spent a week with him. He actually taught me what it's like to be a real human being. That was the first thing. Then, on the day that I was leaving, he gave me a horse syringe with full of oil to take home. So then when I went home, I'm a farmer. I know how to grow stuff. I grew over 500 pounds of dry bud on a 160-acre farm that I lived on.
Wow.
And then I harvested it all. I had it hanging in the barn under black plastic that, you know, so no sunlight gets in and all that stuff. And I had fans and everything. And I made oil. I made it. Rick told me a baby jar, a food jar, is enough to cure cancer. And so and we had babies, you know, so I went and collected all the food, all the jars and everything. And I would box it up. I would process it first, extract the essential oil,
How
and
would you
dry it.
extract it?
Well, I had lab equipment. I used a beaker.
Hexane or butane?
Oh, I tried all the solvents.
Yeah.
All the solvents. The best solvent is the most dangerous, ether. Ether is the best solvent. It extracts the best spectrum,
Wow.
but it's dangerous.
To work with?
Well, if you boil ether to dryness, it explodes.
So you
And
can't
how many
get it to
people know that?
point.
You know, so where I got my ether was from in northern Canada. They have these big containers of ether, and they go into the big machinery to give them a little shot of ether so they get started in the coal. And one of the benefits is that, you know, in the beginning when they started using ether, it would wash all the lubricant off of the walls, the cylinder walls, and score the cylinder walls. So they added mineral oil to it, which then made it safer for me to use, because within the apparatus that I had a beaker that was about this size, and then it came out. And then the top would come off. And on the top part of it, there was a condensing column. Okay? And at the top, when you put that on and you clamp it, it was sealed. And then there was tubes that went in to run cold water to the bottom of the condensing column,
Mhm.
and then another one at the top to take the hot water back out down the drain.
Yeah.
So
Like,
it kept the condensing column cold so that it would condense the ether, and then I had a collector cup that I set underneath
So
it.
you're turning it into gaseous fumes, and you're putting them through the cold so it turns back into liquid, but only the good stuff evaporates.
Well, oil, you have to get to a pretty high temperature for mineral oil before it'll evaporate anyway. So there's such a disparity there. And ether boils at a very low temperature.
So could you do it cold press, or you have to?
Well, I have done dabs. Like I had a 20-ton press, and I got the bags, and I was doing that. There's something missing. I don't know exactly what, but it was really good. Don't get me wrong. People love smoking it.
No, I mean like a cold press.
What kind of a cold press are you talking
You
about?
know, like olive oil. You can buy regular olive oil or.
Well, how do they
cold
do
press.
that?
I don't know. How
That's
they
what I
cold
mean.
pressed it.
I don't know either.
I had a friend that
I
did
don't
a
know.
cold press oil thing, and it's really just like our juicer. He had this motor hooked to this coil, this wedge, and inside of it was like these pieces that you could just keep feeding sunflower seeds in it,
Oh.
and it would just turn at a slow rate, and the sunflower seeds would pull out. So he would do hemp seeds, and he had hemp oil that was like green.
Yeah.
Instead of most of the hemp oil you would see was like brown because it had been heated and overheated. It was
That's it.
super amazing.
I
But
know.
he invented this guy, Andre Recker. He was a 1977 gold medal Olympic champion for the rings, and he, in his garage, I did the electrical for him to add more of his machines. He invented this special coil that would turn at a slower speed, and so it was less temperature, and
Yeah.
he had a whole oil company.
Yeah.
But that would be amazing to push a bunch of cannabis through that. But I'm not in the manufacturing industry at this
Well,
point.
I did
Or even the
something.
partaking of that.
Yeah.
This is only Santa Maria I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
This is the water.
That's it. I'm really trying to show you something.
Because I told myself I wasn't going to smoke it anymore.
Well,
Yeah, it's not good for long.
So,
you know,
this subject puts a whole nother.
I never smoked. I mean, I did in high school, and then afterwards, when I went to work at the factory, I worked at Ford Motor Company on the 351 motor line, and what they used to do is they'd have joints, and they would put it on the motor, and when it moved to your station, you could take a toke, and then you put it back, and you do your thing, whatever.
You just be working a joint rolls by and
Yeah,
then
I
you
will.
just pass it on. Take hit, puff, pass.
And then let it go. Yeah. So I don't know where they came from most of the
But
time.
most
'cause-
people don't do a puff puff pass. They talk and then they just sit there.
7 motors later.
As they're going by, they're not doing their job. It was sweet though. I mean, I thought it
I
was.
must have the joint. I gotta do his job too.
I really think that the guys are doing that kind of boredom and stuff,
Yeah.
and they just wanted good stories to tell, So they're passing the joint through the motor line, yeah.
So do you still do the Rick Simpson oil?
I do in Canada. I don't have any here. I could make some. I did make some in past years with the
There's another
96%
ingredient.
Azul
Okay.
alcohol. 96%. It's cane alcohol, but everything comes out pretty gummy. But it's still pretty good. Still pretty good. Just a little harder to work with. And you could probably
They have
put some olive oil in it to not make it so sticky and tough.
They have like a 99% alcohol here in Mexico. We got some one time, not to drink, but we were doing a ceremony where one of our teachers was he poured it around us in a circle and lit it to release
Fire cleanse ceremonies.
Yeah,
Right.
I've seen it in some of the little tiendas and stuff like that. Yeah, 100% or 99.9% isopropyl
Yeah.
alcohol,
Yeah.
and it's a good solvent. Now, when I was down here one year, I ordered 5 gallons of it, and they shipped it to me as something else. So because they're not supposed to be shipping that kind of stuff, I didn't even know that. Nobody told me anything about what was going on here. And marqué libre, and when it came, it had a different smell. It was not like the isopropyl alcohol I had in Canada that I knew was safe to use. And I don't know if why, is maybe in the warmer temperatures they put a preservative in it or some such thing. And then when I did a little test pot of it, it's something wrong. I didn't know what it was. I just wasn't going to take a chance.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Because you could kill people.
Yeah.
It depends on what preservatives are in it.
When you're working with the medicine, you gotta really know what
You
you're
really got to take no chances.
Yeah.
And I would never want to take a chance. Even when I was, I would teach people how to make it, and safely and everything. And this one woman came to me one day and she said she had a daughter that had all kinds of seizures, and told me long stories about the different things that were happening with her. And she was only 7 years old. And so I told her, I said, well, I'll give you something and give it to her and see if she gets to sleep through the night. So I gave her just a little bit of it in a vial, and she went home, and then she called me the next morning and said she slept the whole night.
Yeah.
And she woke up and she looks really good. And I said, okay, well, now you need to be able to know how to take care of her. So you need to know how to make that medicine.
I've seen people that had full-on tremors that couldn't stop shaking, and they were just like always like that. They were just stuck like that, and they take like a little bit of that, and then they can actually calm down. They can actually pick up a cup and drink it.
Yeah.
Before they couldn't pick up a cup without shaking it out, and they couldn't even get enough in their mouth by the time they got to their mouth.
But you got to realize,
a little drop and
you want to realize though that you want to realize that creating independence in another is what true love is.
Yes.
Not dependencies.
Yes, I
So-
could not agree more. That's
And that
beautiful.
and that is what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't have anybody dependent on me. I'll show you how. You're
Yes.
independent at that point.
And that's the beautiful thing about this massage technique.
Yes,
I can
yes,
teach
you
you, like, okay, now you can do it to yourself.
She does it with
You
the
can-
Theracane. She does it with the ball too.
Mm.
She can work on
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah, I got one of those canes at home.
So that nobody's like, it's nice to have someone do it for you, but you can do it, all these things yourself, or, yeah, there's a tool you can.
It's beautiful though.
You can
I've
hook
already
into it,
felt
yeah.
I already feel. Yes. There's a lot of work to do though. I have
yeah.
a lot of that. At 66 years old, I have a lot of.
Adhesions. Yeah. Well.
Hey, I
Join the club.
I drove a moving truck when I was 60 years old, and I did it for 4 years. And I was the oldest guy in the yard, and they couldn't believe it. The young guys couldn't even keep up to me. But it had a lot to do with the Rick Simpson oil, and the way I was eating, and my energy. Like the oil cleared any stops in my energy. And when I come to Mexico, I take a break. I don't have it. And when I go home, the first time I take it again is like the first time I ever took it.
Yeah.
So it works. That's why I've been coming here every 5 to 6 months every year since 2012 and 13. And man, oh man, I like coming here. First town I went to was La Cruz.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
La
little
Cruz.
town. I tell you, it felt like a little town that I grew up in. And rented a casa that was brand new from a Mexican person for 5,000 pesos a month. Had 2 bedrooms,
Wow.
a rooftop veranda. You could suntan on the nude all day. It just, like the place I have now, I can do that too.
Yeah, we can here.
Yeah, absolutely. I did some
And we
here.
have been.
I did some here, but for 5,000 pesos at that time, I kept it year round. I got myself a little Italica scooter, and I put that away and come back every time. It was all just fine. It was very well built by professional Mexican people who know they got to keep their neighbors up. and it worked. It worked, and had a mango tree right in the yard, in the compound, and a papaya tree, and it had. Like you go up on the rooftop, you could pick the mangoes. You had to
Why'd
stay.
you let that one go?
He wanted to sell it to me, but it's on Hito land. I don't know if you know what Hito land is. You're buying air. You will not ever own it.
You don't ever own the land anywhere.
No, but I'm saying that they like you have to have a trust, and that person that you give the trust to, they can play with you. They can take it back, and that's Hito land. It's like buying land on a reserve in Canada. They cannot sell you any land.
You know, to be honest with you, people think they own shit.
I know.
Even in the United States. Yeah, you can say you own a piece of property, but you don't.
As long as
soon
I
you
have
don't
you-
pay your taxes, it's not yours anymore.
Exactly, that's true. And as long as I can maintain the access to it, it belongs to me. I do what I want there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, not everywhere is like that. But that is, if I would have tried to buy that, it would be like buying air. There's no deal that can be held on it. So with Hito land, but he did sell it to an American. He did sell it to an American. And even when you buy anything, I think it's 50 clicks from the shore of the ocean.
Yeah.
You have to have a trust with the bank, and they can only renew it once. You have 50 years, and then you can renew for another 50 years. But there are some parts in the towns and stuff that people think they can own it, but it's done through a trust. So I don't trust the trusts. Because I want to leave. I already did give my kids their inheritance when COVID started, so they could have a choice of doing whatever they want to do. And but I wasn't going to buy anything with such shaky. And I heard so many stories from expats that were here and everything, how they got screwed for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, I bet.
Well,
I see it's all no man's land. All this land is none of ours, but it's all of ours in a way.
Hey,
it's,
I
it's
agree.
Mama Earth's, and we're just part of her, on her. We should all be stewards and take care of her together.
Well, we haven't been very good
stewards.
stewards of our planet.
Yeah.
And I
have.
said,
Been working on it. But we as a humanity,
well,
we work on it.
the thing is
Yeah.
that I don't think there's anything we can do, because it's mob rules. I mean, majority rules.
It's actually minority rules, because
I know but they're ruling in such a way to get their consent. You see, I think that what violence is a violation. When you are violated, okay, that's what violence is. If you have two people that are agreeing to have a contest of any kind, be it racing, be it fighting, whatever, there's no violence. Could be very brutal, but it is not violent. People don't know what violence is and what violations are and things of that nature. And like I say, they've been they need to develop a mental immune system to be able to detect the bullshit that they're buying. And if they can't do it, they can't do it. If they've been so diminished that they can't do it, they can't do it. Are they going to be punished harder? Probably, but I don't know if they'll be punished at all. I mean, I have no idea what the holy makeup is and how it all works on the other side. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I ain't going to make up stories, so I can go on I'm going to go on a discovery mission.
Yeah.
And I look forward to it. And I have and I dealt with my fears, if I had any in the first place, because I was crazy. Racing like that is crazy.
you
Yeah.
gotta be pretty fearless to do that.
So
Kim's got her book club tonight, so
Yeah.
we got some things